Now I'd like to hear the report from our new CSSA president, Michael Wiafe, who is unable to join us today, but has.
Chancellor White, Chair Day, trustees, and guests. My name is Michael Wiafe, and I'm an incoming fourth-year political science major, an honors minor at San Diego State University, and I'm honored to be the 2019-2020 Cal State Student Association president. Unfortunately, I'm not able to make it to the plenary meeting as I am participating in a fellowship at Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh. However, I am grateful for the opportunity to address you all from afar. I have the unique pleasure of serving in this role alongside some amazing student leaders that I would like to introduce to you. Chair Zara Kurebet of Cal State Northridge, Vice President of Legislative Affairs Grace Pang of San Jose State, Vice President of University Affairs Wanola Alagunju of Stanislaus State, and Vice President of Finance Michelle Tran of CSU San Marcos. Prior to being elected President of CSSA, I served as Vice President of External Relations at Associated Students of San Diego State University, and have been involved with student advocacy since my first year of SDSU, and am honored to be able to represent all CSU students a few years later. However, I am more than my leadership positions. Let's face it, my presence here, although virtual, is unlikely. I was born in Ethiopia to a Ghanaian father and a Zambian mother. My family moved to the United States for education when I was an infant. Our first years here were difficult. As a young child, I remember surviving on university programs that support basic needs for students, similar to the ones that we're advocating for today. My parents were international students. Limited on work hours and opportunities, the university would bring a box of dry food to our apartments once a month from my older sisters and my parents to survive on. I recall one day that a box did not come, and my parents were arguing how our little village would survive. It was from an early age that I learned how vital this small, simple support was to the completion of my parents' degrees. At the age of 5, I attended the graduation for a bachelor's degree, and 3 years ago, my dad completed his PhD. And I often reflect on those experiences and think about how my fellow students, whose college dreams are at risk because they do not have access to these resources, or are overwhelmed by the complexities of navigating a university system. There's a lesson that my parents taught me, in that it takes an entire village to raise a child, not just of family and friends, but of resources, an environment where a child can grow. In our university, it's a village of resources, students, faculty, staff, administration, alumni, and the entire CSU community. Members of the Board of Trustees, you're entrusted with managing a village and creating an environment where students can grow, complete their degrees, and create avenues of opportunity for them and their families. From being involved in student government and CSSA for the past couple of years, I know that students are concerned about the impact of CSU policies on their communities. We are concerned that we don't have enough access to important information, and that it is my hope that by uniting our village and strengthening our bond, we'll be able to address these issues together as vital fragments of the most diverse and largest four-year institution in the nation. I've seen that too often, the different segments of the university engage as if our actions do not affect each other, and as if we are not at the end of the day working towards the same goal of making our CSU village the best that it could be. After meeting all of our amazing student leaders that I get the opportunity of working with, I hope that you all will take the time to meet them, as well as continue to be inclusive of our ideas. I hope that we'll be able to communicate our concerns and have conversations that will lead to inclusive solutions, so that we no longer operate as different pieces of the university, but rather as a community that recognizes its diversity as a strength and that considers all members worthy of being heard and supported. Throughout my time here, I've seen the affordability slowly fade with every incremental cost increase that is being put on students with no reversal in sight. I understand the importance of these proposals for the operation of the institution, but we cannot ignore the simple truth that the cost of attending the institution has never gone down since its conception. Slowly fading, the opportunity to CSU was created to guarantee the state of California. As a participant in the CSU Student Success Data Analytics Program, I've seen all the many steps that the university has taken to bring students to the completion of a degree, and the great efforts that have already been made to close equity gaps across the system. No matter how many administrative barriers are broken, no matter how many programs are implemented, no matter how many great professors are hired, or how academically prepared a student is to enter the system, if they do not have the financial support to continue to attend the CSU, then the equity gaps will continue. Financial support should not be an area that is overlooked as a component of student success. CSSA has been advocating for financial aid reform in the legislature for California students in concert with our coalition of statewide student governments, the University of California Student Association, and the Student Senate for Community Colleges. Students know that there are those in our administration and on this board who understand the deep impact that college affordability has on our student success and the important role that ambitious financial aid reform would have on this important issue. We ask for true partnership of administrative wisdom and expertise that is guided by the student voice. As I mentioned earlier, my hope is that we can unite our village of resources, students, faculty, staff, and administration, in making collaborative effort in making the decisions that supporting the mission of the CSU and benefits the community that it serves. I look forward to seeing you all soon.